Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy comes you out with a brand new video. Before we get into the video, hit that sub button, like the video, and comment down below your thoughts on this video. You guys showed a ton of support on the last video. We hit 1,560 subscribers, so I want to thank you guys so much for that. And let's get to 1,570 subscribers. Let's get to 5 likes on this video. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So the Timberwolves have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. And this was a series that I didn't expect to go 5 games. I thought the Denver Nuggets, the 1-seeded Nuggets, were going to beat the Timberwolves in 4 games. Because, the Timberwolves had to go through the play-in to get to the 8 seed. And, I just didn't expect it. But Anthony Edwards is that guy. Anthony Edwards is that young star for the Timberwolves that can be that number one guy, that can be a superstar. And we saw it. We saw Anthony Edwards put on a masterclass and almost win game number 5 to go into game number 6. Anthony Edwards was hitting clutch baskets at one after another, making the right plays, making the right reads, getting the right, rebounds, getting, just setting up everybody. He was doing a lot of it. Karl-Anthony Towns, who I used to be a big fan of, but over the years from his antics, not really his antics, but his demeanor and his behavior, I haven't really been the biggest fan of him in recent terms. But Karl-Anthony Towns is still one of the most skilled big men in the NBA right now. His ability to shoot the three-point shot, his ability to hit timely baskets, it can't go unnoticed. Karl-Anthony Towns is still a very dominant big man, although I don't think he is a number one option. I think Anthony Edwards is a number one option, and they need to build around Anthony Edwards. They need to get him more spacing, so that means one of Karl-Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert has to be moved this offseason. That is what's next for the Timberwolves. I just don't think that the pairing of Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert works that well with Anthony Edwards. You need Anthony Edwards to be able to get to his spots. You need him to be able to create for others, and you need for him to be able to drive to the basket. And when you have 2 big men where, Rudy Gobert can't really shoot, but he's a very good defender, and Karl-Anthony Towns, who's a very good offensive player, but he is not that great defensively. There's a lot of holes in the Timberwolves, lineup. Anthony Edwards can't get to the rim as he did in his rookie season because Rudy Gobert is there and he blocks up a lane. And then Karl-Anthony Towns, as good as he is still very flat-footed. He is very big, and he's not a guy that you can put at the forward. Karl-Anthony Towns is not a forward. He doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with the forwards, and he's not quick enough to keep up with the forwards. And, you saw it early in the season that Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert were struggling defensively because neither one of them could keep up on the perimeter. And that is a big drawback for the Timberwolves because, when you have Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert out there, you don't really have an excellent perimeter defender or even a good perimeter defender outside of Anthony Edwards who can, go out and contest a shot without fouling. Because both the guys are too big, both the guys are slow-footed, and both of those guys have trouble staying out of foul trouble on the perimeter. And that is one thing I think the Timberwolves have to look at through this offseason. Anthony Edwards is that guy, but Mike Conley was also very big for them. Mike Conley hit timely baskets, timely shots, and he was, the guy that kept the flow in order. He is the guy that was generating the offense. He was the guy that was, making the right plays. And, they need another point guard. They need another guy that can help create for others when, he's not on the floor. Mike Conley is like 35 years old now, so he's only going to get, worse as the years go on. And they need to find a young point guard in this draft for Anthony Edwards and for Karl-Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert. I need one of them to be traded because that it just doesn't work. In the playoffs, that just doesn't work. We've seen time and time again where Rudy Gobert has been played off the floor because, you just can't go out and contest the the perimeter. And, that is very concerning for the Timberwolves who have bigger aspirations. They have championship aspirations, and they need to capitalize on Anthony Edwards' youth at this point. But a little bright side in all this was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was a guy that didn't really get a fair opportunity in his years in the NBA so far. He's bounced around. He played for the Pelicans. Didn't get really a good chance. It just didn't work out for him. But I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker has found a home with the Timberwolves. He's a very good 3-and-D guard. He was going out there. He was hitting timely three-point shots, timely three-point baskets when the Timberwolves needed them to help win them games in Game 4, Game 3. He was doing a lot of it. And then he was also going out and guarding very well. I think he's a very underrated perimeter defender, and I think he's only going to get better because he is still very young. I think he's only 22, 23, maybe 24. So he's still young, and he's still in Anthony Edwards' age bracket. So I think that is a guy that the Timberwolves should keep. Now, Taurean Prince and the bench, they need a better bench. Josh Okogie is nice. Taurean Prince made some timely baskets. They have a lot of guys that help Anthony Edwards. Like, they have a very good set of role players. They have Naz Reid, who's a very good backup center, backup power forward. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, is a very good point guard / small forward, power forward. He can handle the ball, create some shots. Austin Rivers is a very good three-point shooter. Taurean Prince is a very good three-point shooter. Like, they have good bench players. They have a good bench that can come in and provide them some baskets. It's just that starting lineup just doesn't work. Mike Conley, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards. They were missing their best perimeter defender in Jaden McDaniels, who is a very underrated young perimeter defender. He is 22 years old, but he is a very good 3-and-D guy. And I think he was starting to get his recognition as the season went on before his injury, where he was shooting almost 40% from the 3, and he's a very good defender. So that is exactly what the Timberwolves need with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, where, you got to move on from Rudy Gobert. I just don't think that contract and that trade for the Timberwolves was worth it. It's just a bad trade, and it's just a trade that has everybody scratching their head even after and before the trade was made. It just doesn't work out, and I just don't think it was a great trade. And it just makes everybody else around him, that much worse. Because Anthony Edwards is a guy that likes to attack downhill, get to the rim, likes to dunk on people. Karl Anthony Towns is usually supposed to be that free safety big man that, stays around the three-point line but can also crash and grab the rebounds. That's what they needed. Jaden McDaniel was supposed to be that perimeter defender that can stay next to Karl Anthony Towns and, allow him to take possessions off defensively, where Jaden McDaniels can go out and guard like multiple players and, just be a switchy, lengthy defender. And, that's what the Timberwolves lacked. But I think next season, if they move on from Rudy Gobert and they get a competent enough, 3 where Anthony Edwards can go back to the 2, McDaniels can go to the 4, Karl Anthony Towns is back to the 5, or they get, a point guard so Mike Conley can come off the bench and be like one of the best bench players. There's a lot of things that the Timberwolves can improve on. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think is the next move for the Timberwolves. What do you think that the Timberwolves need to do? Do you guys think that they need to trade Rudy Gobert, or should we give them another year and another season to see how they perform together? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, YouTube.